They are setting the atmosphere and the stage. Either the 19th, when Trump's having that big event that he's announced at that hockey center there in D.C. I'm not saying it's going to happen by exposing it. It won't. Because the globalists, if something spotlighted to a big enough audience, won't do it. We have the initiative. We've got the public waking up. People aren't asleep anymore. So clearly, as I predicted before he won, and I said after he won, is when they'd escalate. So they did it within 11 days, as I predicted. And so now this really ups the threat on the DEFCON with these two events happening and the subsequent cover-up. I mean, all of this is all the telltale signs of a psyop.
All right, welcome back. The CDC says the country dealing with high levels of respiratory illnesses. On the list, COVID, the flu, RSV. The agency estimates at least 3 million people have become sick so far this year. 11 states have high levels of respiratory illnesses. One state, New Hampshire, is reporting very high levels, emergency room visits for all three viruses.
Norovirus is the worst. I swear, is the worst illness I had in years.
Norovirus cases are on the rise this holiday season. 91 outbreaks were reported nationwide during the week of December 5th. That's roughly 24 more compared to the last week of November last year. But the numbers don't tell the whole story because health departments aren't forced to report cases of norovirus, so really don't have great numbers. Meantime, norovirus is the top cause of foodborne illness with roughly 2,500 outbreaks reported each year, and it is bad. It's yucky.
Yeah, so
you don't want that.
Actually, we do need reporting, good reporting on this, so we can give you a number and tell you where it's stronger and higher.
Eddie, this morning, medical experts are warning about a norovirus outbreak hitting several states. The CDC reports more than 90 cases confirmed in the first week of December alone. That's more than double the cases we've seen that same week over the last 3 years.
I hate to say this, but it feels like 2020 all over again. Overflowing hospitals and thousands of patients with flu-like symptoms. China is facing a new health crisis, a new disease outbreak, which looks a lot like the Wuhan virus. And as always, Beijing is sharing no information. They're calling it a pneumonia of unknown origin.
The CDC says the bird flu has mutated as a 65-year-old patient in Louisiana is suffering the nation's first severe infection.
Dr. Wen, is bird flu in humans super dangerous?
Well, the World Health Organization estimates that in prior outbreaks of the bird flu, that the mortality rate is 52%. 52%. However, in this most recent outbreak, it seems that most cases have been mild, and maybe some people even have asymptomatic infection.
And it's not there, but California worries me because of all the spread in cattle in California. That's absolutely unprecedented, and that's why we have a level of alert here, and we need to be vigilant.
Concerning news from the CDC. The agency says H5N1 bird flu samples collected from a severely ill patient in Louisiana showed signs of mutation, differing from the samples collected from backyard flock believed to have infected the man.
We can actually show our viewers some of these numbers here now. Confirmed total reported human cases in the United States. You can see it across the dairy herds, poultry farms, and then one other animal. Not a huge number there, but obviously troubling. What do you make of it?
Let's start with that mutation. How does that work, and is there cause for concern tonight?
Well, thanks for having me.
Sure.
And what we know from this case in Louisiana is that this patient, when they sequenced the virus, they noted that there were mutations that could potentially make this virus more susceptible to human transmission, so easily transmitted from person to person. Now, that said, there's some really important news here, and that is they sequenced the virus that was found in the backyard flock of birds and the virus from this person, and those birds did not have a mutation that showed any kind of adaptation to humans. So really, this happened in that person, and we think that's really important because it means that what's circulating in the birds is actually not something that's transmissible from person to person at this point. So that's really the important piece of news here. Now, that said, there was some data that suggests that this strain is only a few mutations away from becoming transmissible. So good to keep our eye on it.
Let me sort this out for you, Griffin. I've talked to top officials at CDC over the past week about this. There's two different types of bird flu out there. The one in the dairy cattle that you're seeing, 866 herds already, 660 in California. That's the type called B313. Fancy name, but what it means is when it actually infects humans, it's mild. The symptoms have been mild across the board in that particular subtype. Now, we have to monitor that because it's spreading a lot among the dairy cattle, and it's spreading through milk machines, through milking, and occasionally it gets to a farm worker. We have to figure out a way to control that. The second type is in the poultry, which we've seen for 2 decades now. And occasionally we've seen a mutation, D1.1 it's called, where you get a very severe illness, much more severe than you get with the dairy cattle, generally in the type in birds. But now they're seeing something where in the last 2 patients, one in British Columbia, one in Louisiana, where it actually got into upper airways fairly easily. That's what we are concerned about. But the good news is they know where the 2 got it from. The one in Louisiana got it from a backyard bird, and there's no sign of any spread whatsoever.
The infected person was hospitalized after coming in contact with sick and dead birds on their property, though the CDC says the mutations were not found in those animals. Since March, more than 60 milder cases have also been identified in the U.S. Nearly all infected worked on dairy or poultry farms. This month, California Governor Gavin Newsom declared a state of emergency over the virus.
Hi, Griff. The CDC says a genetic analysis indicated that a mutation of the virus was discovered inside a Louisiana patient. This person contracted the first severe case of H5N1 in the nation. The patient is one of the 66 confirmed bird flu cases in humans in 10 states across the U.S., including California, Michigan, and Texas. There was no evidence that the Louisiana patient passed the illness to anyone else. Health experts say the genetic analysis from the Louisiana patient indicates the virus evolved in a way that can make it more transmissible to humans because it more easily binds to the cell receptors in the upper respiratory tract. Nearly all of the 66 confirmed human cases involve people who were infected after working on dairy or poultry farms. California has had at least 650 dairy farms with cows infected with the bird flu, more than any other state.
If you have been sick with this, I'm sending you all my love because it's no joke.
Tell us the truth. I just want true coverage and fair coverage of everybody. Tell the truth. Be fair. I think they need to be more honest.
Accuracy and being for the people, not for themselves.
I think, American people want to hear the truth, and sometimes that isn't what they're hearing.
Norovirus is the worst. I swear, is the worst illness I had in years. Worse than kickshoulders, worse than strep. Like, this is just hurtful, painful nightmare. I woke up this morning and I didn't felt right, but I was still a functioning human being. I even did 2 TikToks. I cleaned the house, but I was like, something is wrong. Like, I barely didn't felt right, and I just thought I ate something weird.
The fog situation keeps on getting stranger and stranger. This video is taken of a complete blanket of fog coming over this town. And some people are saying that some of the videos are just snow and it's not actual fog. Well, you can take a look at this video here where the woman turns on her light in the same area she was already in, and it's not snow, it's caused by the fog. Strange particles just floating around, acting and behaving not like normal fog. But I think the strangest thing that we have seen so far is this next video. This occurred yesterday in Texas. This is a woman's pool. She woke up to it this morning. She's had a pool for years. I've had a pool, and many people that have pools have never seen anything like this. She hadn't added new chemicals, changed anything about the water. The only difference is that there's been fog pouring in every morning and orbs and drones in her area. This is a close-up shot, and as I've mentioned in the past, though there's no facts to back this, people are calling it a chemical fog. Mysterious fog has been seen all over the United States at early hours of the morning, and people are getting concerned. Like in this video here, you can see there's all kinds of little particles floating around, and it doesn't act or smell like normal fog. People are concerned that it might be chemical fog. 40 states have reported seeing this fog, and here you can see it kind of looks a little bit more like normal fog. That's because it's being lit by the light in the sky. But when it's darker and you use a flashlight, then you can see it's little particles that are floating around. It doesn't usually come at night, but only in the early hours of the morning, like from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. And people are saying it's happened in cities where they've seen the drones flying around, and they're kind of concerned that it has something to do with it. But I think the thing that's concerning most people is the fact that it has a very distinct and weird smell. Sort of like chemicals. Dense fog is one thing, but when they introduce a new smell, that raises reason for concern. But it's this video right here that I find the most frightening because those
The 4 horsemen are coming to wipe off some bad eggs, but news under or over in 5 minutes. Bonus, the anchor wants you to subscribe.
Is a spirit of trouble under moonlit sky. I'm desperate to feel more alive. Dreams that keep me wide awake. Call me up out of the moonlit sky. I'm desperate to feel more alive. Dreams that keep me wide awake. Call me up out of the grave. When I'm stuck in my head, suffocate by sorrow. My bones start to disconnect. My soul becomes hollow in the endless night.